Sophia Lancaster had promised her twin children, 7-year-old Leo and Lily, a special night out. It had been a long week running her growing skincare empire, and after years of juggling work and single motherhood, she'd learned that moments like these were precious. So tonight, she set her phone on silent, dressed the kids in their favorite outfits, and took them to Il Verdi, their favorite Italian restaurant. Warm lights glowed through the windows as she pushed the door open, the comforting scent of garlic and fresh bread wrapping around them like a hug. The twins rushed ahead, giggling, racing toward their booth near the window. Sophia smiled, her heart full. Nights like this reminded her why she worked so hard. She slid into the booth opposite them. "All right, you two," she teased. "Who's getting extra cheese tonight?" "Me," Lily squealed. "Me too, double," Leo added, bouncing in his seat. Sophia laughed, reaching over to smooth Leo's messy hair. Okay, but only if you both promise not to fall asleep in the car this time." The twins nodded solemnly, making her grin. She was just about to wave the waiter over when Leo's smile suddenly froze. He squinted past her, his expression changing. "Mom, someone's looking at us." Sophia turned casually, expecting to see a friendly waiter or a fan of her brand. But the moment her eyes landed on him, her breath lodged in her throat. There, standing by the entrance, was Ethan Hale, her ex-husband. For a heartbeat, the world around her seemed to blur. The clinking glasses, soft music, and laughing customers faded into a distant hum. Ethan wasn't supposed to be here. He had moved across the country 2 years ago after their painful divorce. He wasn't supposed to walk back into her life like this, calm, confident, and devastatingly familiar. Sophia's fingers tightened around her water glass. "Mom," Lily whispered, Is that Dad?" Sophia swallowed hard. She had prepared herself for the day the twins would see him again, but not like this. Not without warning. Not on a night she wanted to be perfect. Ethan's eyes softened as they met hers, a mixture of regret and longing flickering there. Slowly, he took a step toward their booth. Sophia felt her heartbeat quicken. What was he doing here? And what did he want after all this time? Ethan stopped a few feet from the table, his hands tucked awkwardly into his coat pockets. For a man who once commanded boardrooms with icy precision, he suddenly looked unsure, nervous even. "Hi, Sophia," he said softly. Her stomach twisted. The twins froze like statues. She forced a polite smile. "Ethan, I didn't know you were in town." "I wasn't. Not until this morning," he replied, glancing at the kids with a gentle warmth she hadn't seen in years. "I heard Il Verdi still had the best lasagna in the city. I couldn't resist." Leo and Lily exchanged quick, confused looks. Sophia caught their unspoken question. "What now?" "We're in the middle of dinner," she said carefully, her tone steady but guarded. "Maybe we can talk later." Ethan hesitated. Then, surprising her completely, he cleared his throat and said, "Only, if it's all right, I'd love to say hello to the kids." Lily leaned toward her mother. "Mom, can he sit with us? Just for a minute?" Her voice held a softness that pierced straight through Sophia's chest. Sophia inhaled deeply, every muscle tense. She didn't want to ruin tonight. She didn't want old wounds reopened. But she also knew the twins had questions, ones she had never been able to fully answer. After a long moment, she nodded. "1 minute." The twins brightened instantly. Ethan exhaled with visible relief and slid into the empty seat beside Leo. The familiar way he adjusted his sleeves, the way he smiled at the kids. It all hit Sophia harder than she wanted to admit. "Wow," Ethan murmured, looking at them with pride. "You two have gotten so big." Leo shrugged, pretending to be cool. "We're 7 now. Mom says we're practically adults." Ethan chuckled, warm, real. "Is that so? Well, adults still like pizzas, right?" The twins erupted into giggles, and for a terrifying second, Sophia saw the family they could have been if things hadn't fallen apart. She quickly looked away. "So," Ethan said gently, turning to her. "Sophia, I know this is sudden, but I'm not just here for a visit." Her heart dropped. "I moved back," he continued quietly. "I've made mistakes, big ones, but I'm here to fix what I broke, if you'll let me try." Sophia froze, every emotion flooding in at once: shock, anger, confusion, and something she wasn't ready to name. The twins stared at her, wide-eyed, waiting. What was she supposed to say to that? Sophia felt the room tilt for a moment. Ethan's words hung in the air, fragile and heavy like glass waiting to shatter. You moved back? She repeated, her voice barely above a whisper. Ethan nodded, hands clasped together on the table. Not confident, not arrogant, just human. Yes, yesterday. I didn't want to call until I knew I wasn't going to run again. Run again? The truth in those words struck deep. Lily reached for her mother's hand. Mom, are you okay? Sophia forced a steady breath. Yeah, sweetheart, I'm just surprised. Ethan swallowed. I know I don't deserve even that much from you. Or from them. He looked at the twins, eyes softening. But I miss them. I've missed everything. Leo fidgeted with his fork. Mom said you had work far away. Sophia's heart tightened. She had tried so hard not to paint Ethan as the villain. But the truth was painful. Ethan nodded slowly. I did. And I let it take me away from the people who mattered more. There was sincerity in his voice, something she hadn't heard in years. I came back, he continued, because I realize success means nothing when you're eating dinner alone every night. And because I want to be part of their lives, if you'll let me. Sophia looked down at her hands. She remembered the long nights she cried alone, the birthdays he missed, the promises he broke, the divorce papers he signed without even coming in person. But she also saw the way the twins leaned toward him, the hope in their eyes, the longing for something they had never fully experienced. She exhaled shakily. Ethan wanting to be here is good, but you don't get to walk back into their lives and pretend nothing happened. This will take time. A lot of it. Ethan nodded immediately. I know, I'm ready for that. His readiness, his lack of defensiveness, disarmed her. Suddenly the waiter approached, breaking the tension. Would you like to order something, sir? Ethan looked at Sophia. Only if... I'm not intruding. Sophia hesitated, but then shook her head lightly. No. Stay. The twins cheered quietly. Ethan smiled, small but genuine. Lasagna, please. As the waiter left, Ethan spoke again, soft, steady. Sophia, I also came to say something else. A chill ran down her spine. What? He looked directly into her eyes. I'm sorry. For everything. For choosing money over you. For leaving you alone. For letting our family fall apart. Sophia felt something twist, an old wound reopening, but this time with room to heal. For the first time in years, she didn't look away. Thank you, she whispered. Outside the restaurant window, snow began to fall, quiet, gentle, forgiving. And inside, for the first time in a long time, the four of them weren't broken pieces.